Live at Baltimore this morning and the wreckage of what was once the Francis Scott Key Bridge. You can see now reduced to just that pile of metal poking out of the Patapsco River this morning. It collapsed early this morning after being struck by that container ship that you can also see there by the bridge, or what's left of it. Baltimore's fire chief says a number of people are thought to have gone into the water after the structure gave way, though the specific count is fluctuating throughout the morning. It is thought to include anywhere from 7 to 20 people. Sonar has also confirmed the presence of submerged vehicles, but at this point it is not clear how many vehicles are under the water. Take a listen now to how Baltimore's mayor is reacting to what happened in his city.
This is a tragedy that you can never imagine, right? And I was awake when Chief Wallace called me, but never would you think that you would physically see the Key Bridge tumble down like that. It looked like something out of an action movie. And you just think about, most importantly, and which is what we all should be thinking about right now, nothing but those families and people that are impacted, and those people who are risking their lives right now from not just Baltimore City and Baltimore County, but all over this state to try to save lives.
And the mayor there saying this is an unthinkable tragedy as first responders continue to work away there at that scene you're looking at right now. We're joined now by CNN reporter Karen Kaifa. She is live in Baltimore this morning. So Karen, set the scene for us this morning. We are seeing it is quite a dynamic scene. Time is of the essence. What's happening where you are right now?
Yeah, absolutely, Marianne. Time is of the essence because it is cold. The air temperature is cold. The water temperature is cold. The water temperature, latest estimate, about 48 degrees, which might not seem like it's very cold. But when you're talking about being submerged in that water for an extended period of time, it makes it absolutely essential for those rescue workers to get in there and try to find as many folks as they can. It also makes it very challenging for them. The air temperature at about 43 degrees, but the National Weather Service says that in this area experiencing gusts of about 20 miles per hour, again, makes it challenging as you are working in a water situation. We're about 6 hours out now from that time of impact. The mayor, Brandon Scott, you heard him there, just absolutely in disbelief that a structure like the Francis Scott Key Bridge, at the time one of the longest continuous truss bridges in the entire world, a bridge that has stood for almost 50 years, could simply have collapsed into the water. So a lot of disbelief and, of course, a lot of concern for those who may be in the water, Marianne.
Yes, and as we heard from fire officials there on the scene, this is a dynamic situation. The number of people who may be in the water is continually fluctuating. But to your point, quite a large bridge, 1.6 miles, 4-lane bridge. If there is any silver lining to this very tragic situation, is the fact that it did happen at 1:35 this morning, not at the peak at, say, rush hour. But as you mentioned, people were on the bridge at the time. Vehicles have been detected under the water. So what more is going to happen with the search and rescue operation? Just talking about how urgent this is right now. And do we have a sense of how the efforts are going so far?
Yeah, they're going to continue. We've been getting periodic updates from officials on multiple fronts. You do have a federal, state, and local response here right now that is working on this situation. The latest update we have is that they are looking for at least 7 people in the water. And as you mentioned, that number has fluctuated throughout the morning. They do kind of have a sense of how many vehicles were on that bridge. But Baltimore fire officials say there is sonar indication that there are vehicles submerged in the water. They just don't know precisely how many. And again, that could fluctuate in terms of the number of people in those vehicles. It's believed that there was at least 1 tractor trailer on the bridge. As you said, a silver lining that there wasn't more traffic in the early hours of the morning. So they're doing what they can to try to determine the number of people. We understand there was a construction crew on that bridge, and hopefully that company can help them out in terms of the number of people who were there. It continues to be a very active situation. And again, they're fighting cold temperatures. They've pulled 2 people at least from the water so far, 1 uninjured miraculously, and the other taken to a hospital in a very serious condition, Marianne.
CNN reporter Karen Kaifa in Baltimore, thanks so much for this. Let's take a look there at the scene. That is the scene that remains this morning. This is where that search and rescue operation continues. As you heard Karen just mention, 1 person in hospital so far. A second person who was rescued was not injured. But again, anywhere from 7 to 20 people may still be in the water. Helicopters aiding in this search from the air, but of course, marine units in the water, searching not only the surface, but also under the surface. Now, because there is such a huge collapse of this bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge this morning, of course, they have closed off the area. All port traffic has also been suspended indefinitely. We are awaiting more information from authorities on the ground. We are expecting another update from officials at around 9:30 Eastern Time. We will, of course, keep an eye on this ever-changing situation out of Baltimore, Maryland this morning, and we'll bring you the very latest. You're watching CBC Morning Live.